Hey, what's up, family? Welcome to Ask to My Aunt.
Hi. Where we challenge you to stop playing and stop pushing.
This right here is my incredible wife, Aiyana.
And this right here, this is my fabulous husband, Ayize.
And this right here is baby boy Aiyana. All right, y'all, we got a good question for y'all today. Hopefully it'll help some folks out.
I mean, it's a very good question. Very good question. Because it's a common question. So I'm going to summarize it. But essentially, a young woman has written in. She says she reconnected with her childhood sweetheart earlier this year after 19 years of being out of contact. They were 100% clear that they wanted to be together, and they really enjoyed getting to know one another all over again. It's a long-distance relationship, and she says recently things have gotten really tough. He's a long-distance truck driver, and he went independent this year, so he's in business for himself. You see my baby is all over the place. And so she says that he has a lot less time for those long, in-depth talks they used to have. The financial stress has made him withdraw somewhat. She really misses the quality time they used to spend together. And things have become strained because when she calls him, he's very distant. He says that he's thinking about the business. He doesn't really engage. And she wants to hear details, but he doesn't seem to want to share them. And so she said that...
Does that sound familiar?
It sounds very familiar. She says that when she wrote in, she said on that particular day that they got into it really bad because I guess he volunteered for a date. Anyway, at the end of the day, he volunteered a date and said he would pay it back. So he suggested a date, but he didn't have the money to take her out on the date and said he would pay it back. And so she said that she asked him to explain to her what's going on. He got angry, saying that she shouldn't ask him that she should just simply say if she can help him out or not, that her asking him questions makes him feel like a child, and so on. And so she said, you know, I don't mind giving him the money. That's not even the issue. I just want to be in his life. I want to know the details. I want to know what's going on. And so he finally did explain to her out of sheer exasperation. But he said if there's something important that she needs to know in general, not just with money, he would tell her without hesitation. She would be the first to know, but she needs to stop questioning him all the time. He feels frustrated that he has to explain everything to her all the time. And she said she just doesn't know how to take his feedback. She understands where he's coming from. She's scared of losing her relationship. And she also wants to know if she really needs to change something. But she also doesn't understand what the big deal is, because that's what she does with her friends, with people she cares about. She talks to them. She engages with them. She asks for what's going on. I feel you, my sister. So I want to defer to my husband and have him give some insight. Because as I was reading this, I said to myself, oh, we got to do this one because I know you got some unique insight. Oftentimes when we're working with couples or when we're working with each other, just trying to do our own relationship, I am trying to get the details, and it can be a struggle. So, what you say,
to me, it's really not a complicated situation. I mean, the thing that I think about is that when we find ourselves in these situations, especially men, I mean, we want to be trusted. We want you to feel as though you can trust our wisdom, you can trust our advice, our decision-making, our discernment. And so when you ask 1,001 questions, oftentimes it's perceived that there's a lack of trust in a relationship. It's almost as if like my reasoning, my rationale is not good enough.
But you're not giving rationale. That's the issue here.
No, and so again, even if we're not giving rationale, sometimes it might not be expressed, but we want to make sure that we take care of it and we handle it. And all you need to know in some situations is that we got it. In terms of giving up an explanation, what it does is it subjects us to a possibility of critique. Then you ask 1,001 questions, and we would rather not just go through that dance, go through the, just go through that process. The preference is that you trust us, even without the explanation. And it's not to say that we're treating you all like children, but you know how children ask 1,001 questions, and you say no, you say yes, you say this is the reason, this is my logic, this is my rationale. There comes a point where you say, I've given you the answer. And so when it comes to your intimate relationship, it's not the way you want to necessarily engage in a relationship, but the important thing to recognize is that we want our spouses or our partners to trust us the same way that we want our children to trust us. Yeah, we do. And it's not that we're treating you like children.
And yes, but the only way for us to trust you like we're children is for us to be your child.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate reality here is that we are partners and that we're your children. And I just have to comment on this, babe. You said, you know, we don't want to have to be subjected. I think this is the real issue, and I'm going to say this because I've heard this and experienced this with my own husband. We don't want to be subjected to critique and then have to go and engage you on some long line of conversation because you don't understand, don't get, or don't get down with whatever the issue is. And so I think that that's really the issue, is that you all don't want to enter into vulnerability to hear something opposite of what you think or feel. And oftentimes, I mean, based off how she's explaining it, it's not always the case. It's not even someone trying to like criticize. It's just wanting to understand. And I think that, you know, what you're lifting up is the reality of how men feel.
It's the reality.
But I think that we need to also lift up what success looks like. And success looks like you're going to have to stretch yourself, my brother. And how you going to ask for some money? They're not married yet, remember? They're hopefully on their way there.
Success doesn't just look
how
like
you going to
that.
ask for some money and then say, like, I mean, can you just tell me if you can do it or not? First of all, we ain't even married. But second of all, if we are and our money is joint, how is it that I'm not supposed to understand what the issue is? I'm supposed to have no knowledge? Because this is not him giving her some preliminary answer and she's not satisfied with it. This is him saying, like, why are you even asking me? So, you don't got it like that. So, and nobody should have it like that in a committed relationship.
So I think that the thing that you said is that success in a relationship, it looks like stretching, you know, stretching your partner. And you all being willing to grow and just taking it to the next level. But success in a relationship also too, is all about knowing when not to stretch, knowing when it's not appropriate to stretch. And I think that, you know, the idea that a lot of women have is that we're going to push the limits, we're going to push the boundaries, we're going to stretch,
so
we want to get the most out of you. And so all I'm saying is that, like, there's a time and a place when you have those types of conversations, and I think that it's important for women to know that sometimes
use their intuition.
Yeah, use the intuition, that sixth sense, and really know that now ain't the time for you to stretch. I mean, you can actually stretch and do damage. And so it's not to say that in this situation right here.
It's not for her to stretch, it's for him.
No, what I'm saying is that for her to stretch him. She's attempting to stretch him in this situation.
So let me just ask you this, so I can make sure I'm understanding. You're saying that your partner, whether it be your husband or in this case they're in a committed relationship, says, I need some money because I want us to go out and hang out and do thus and so. But I don't have the money to finance it right now. I ain't got it. But I'll get you back. She's supposed to just say okay and give him the money and not ask her, and she should just ask the question.
I mean, you're talking about going out for a date, so $100, $200.
And whether it's a date or whether it's whatever.
I mean, it really depends. I mean, he could possibly be testing her. I mean, so in this situation, I would need to see a pattern. I would need to see a routine pattern of him doing this type of behavior, and then I would say that if you constantly find yourself in a situation where this is happening, then it's not going to work. I mean, but in this one situation, if this is an isolated incident where he's asking you for money,
she said that he is a hold her down type of dude. He's always been like that.
Yeah.
He covers everything, so he doesn't like being in this situation.
Yeah. So I mean, so she knows the answer.
She doesn't know what's happening to this causing financial.
And he ain't ready to give it to her right now.
I mean, and as a partner, babe, you can't decide I'm gonna be single when I have difficult times.
No.
And so I'm gonna withdraw into myself. So I'm not saying that you're not saying what's really true in terms of women need to understand that you have to think about timing. Timing is everything, right? And you can say, you know, I got you, babe, but you know, at some point I do want us to talk because I really want to understand what's going on. And you have to sometimes say, not because I'm trying to be up in your business to tell you what to do, but just because I love you and I want to know because you're a part of me and I'm a part of you. But we can holler about it later. It's timing. But at the same time, it is a requirement that if we're partners and we're in a committed relationship and to the degree that we're sharing money and thus and you know, anybody gonna ask me, so what's going on? I mean, what happened? I'm not gonna know what's happening with your husband or with your partner in this area. That, you know, I have no idea because he just doesn't like to. He doesn't tell me that stuff
right now.
No, yeah. So it might be in that moment, but we can't stay there. Is my point. Yes, she can think about timing, but we cannot stay there because the difference between a wife or a partner and a child is that I am a co-equal partner in this, and so I can respect your need for space and time, But we're not gonna just box me. Some things kids just don't need to know because it's grown folk business.
Yeah.
This is grown folk business that involves two people. So you know, I just think that's important.
So I think the important thing that we're lifting up here is that timing is so critical in this situation.
And sensitivity to the ego of the man.
Yeah. And so again, I think it's good that he stretched or that you stretch him, but at the same time too, keep in mind that there are some times that stretching him ain't appropriate, just like stretching you ain't appropriate. So I mean, with that being said, you know, again, I think that this definitely, you know, can be worked through, but he has to be willing to communicate. You need to be willing to open up your mind and use that intuition and know when to communicate and when to receive or when to press the envelope. And with all that being said, if y'all do that, then, I mean, things should work out. But in order to do that, y'all, you know what you got to do. You got to stop playing.
Stop playing, say it, boo.
And start
Stop
pushing.
pushing.